How often do we say of someone else, like, I can't believe that this person believes this. I can't believe that they did this. They must be an idiot. The gap there is that we don't understand this person. They're right there in front of us. And instead of asking them to explain what's going on, we project our own worst uncharitable stereotypes onto them and then tell them how they are. These are the criticisms we have of ourselves that we're putting into someone else. And I think it's very important for us to take that pattern and instead ask the person, hey, can you help me understand where you're coming from? Because I don't want to project my shadow onto you. Instead of saying like, oh my gosh, you're so wrong, I can't believe you. Instead of doing that, ask them like, what do people like me oftentimes mistake about people like you? And whatever they say is going to be surprising to you because you don't know the answers to these questions.
Do you have another favorite question that you like to ask that'll give a surprising answer?
What were the formative events in your life that sort of led to you having these values? That's a really good one because they start telling stories and they can talk about being a kid and talking about their hardship, and suddenly you can relate to them. And it's fascinating. Using other people as our third and fourth and fifth and 100th eyes to see the world in more dimensions, I think this is like the thing that we need to be doing. Is such an important skill. I'm glad that we're all talking about it. It's so important. We're no longer arguing. We're ranting. We're yelling, but we're not actually engaging the opposition in debate or discussion, and we're avoiding it. Do you feel like you're going to be easily provoked in the moment? And that can be caused by many things, whether it's like, not getting enough sleep the night before, having a newborn, working too hard, not exercising enough. All these things can cause this, like, our bodies to be less sort of resilient to anxiety. And so, yeah, if that's happening, I think it's important to first attend to that. Get some sleep. Drink a glass of water, go to the gym, do things to take care of yourself first, and then come back to the conversation. Paying attention to whenever our blood pressure spikes, whenever our heart rate starts, hopping along, think back to like, what is being threatened? What did that person say, or what just happened that caused me to feel threatened? And inspect that and think about, like, what are the values that I have that are being challenged? What are the beliefs that I have that are being contradicted? And you can pivot the conversation into that value or that belief, rather than addressing this stuff on the surface that is, sort of indicating this threat. Just talk about it directly, about what's important to you. Anytime your values are threatened, the first thing to do is really ask that, find out whether or not that person really is doing that. Is that their intention? Is that what they're trying to do? Or are they operating on a completely different wavelength, talking about something that's a threat to them? Because, oftentimes we can both be in a defensive mode and feel like the other person is attacking us. We oftentimes think that we can if we just produce enough evidence and information, that the other person is going to be like, all right, you're right. Okay, I believe your side now. And time after time again, we know that this isn't true, both from the academic world and studies and research that's been done, and personal experience. We all know that this doesn't happen. So why do we keep expecting it to happen? That's a recipe for frustration and anxiety to think something's going to happen that won't. Instead, we can think about, what are ways that this relationship can change? What are ways that my mind can change about stuff? Not to necessarily switch to the other side, but to see it from a bigger perspective, to see how multiple perspectives can coexist together, and all that kind of stuff, where our minds are the ones that are in our control, and those are the ones we should be the most worried about. It can be scary to go out there and be vulnerable, but that's exactly the way that we learn. It's like, it keeps our nerves open, it keeps our mind open, it keeps us paying attention to what's going on. That's what I call the flow of a conversation, or the flow of action, is to be half unprepared and figure things out as you go.
I just had the most beautiful argument-provoking interview with Buster Benson on Why Are We Yelling? To check out more incredible interviews on improving your life, click here, subscribe below, and be sure to click on the bell icon to be notified of upcoming shows. Love you guys.